But let's start with the tier list. We'll go one by one. After everyone, I think we should start with the characters that you don't really want to see in your team. Someone like Mogan, for example. Not really a good character. Very skippable. Basically nothing interesting in that character, unfortunately, and that's a sad truth, that he doesn't bring that much to the team, and I don't see use in him at all. Corey, kind of the same thing. Let's call it not a D tier. They're not bad characters, but they're just nothing special. Oh. Okay, well, let's call it nothing. we'll put nothing here. That Toka is... I have no idea, actually. I think not. I think she's just gonna be as... they replaced that Toka with the new one that we have in game. But maybe they're gonna do like costumes for characters, then this can definitely be a costume for her. If something like that will ever come to the game. I don't know why Nishiki... Well, Nishiki was an SSR, I guess, in that one, but he's not here. Mado, maybe a little bit better than nothing, for sure. He's got some use as well. He's an AoE character. He does decent damage. I'll open him up to confirm everything I'm saying. But he's got also the thing with, you know, while he's in a backup state, he increases the damage of Aogiri team. So, hey Karma, how are you? So he is decent, maybe in Aogiri team, if you want that with Kakuja Kaneki, with Ayato. They could be a decent team. He can be in the backup the same way like Naki, for example, works in the backup. That could work. Maybe he'll be able to be in the meta at some point. We'll see about that. Next one, Shu. Same stuff. Pretty much nothing interesting, but he's okay AoE character. Like if you don't have anything, so he debuffs kinda the enemies, also does AoE damage, but there's nothing special about him either. So I don't see point in talking about this character. Not interesting that much. Nico, I'm gonna put Nico on B just because he's a free-to-play support. So, but he's not good in any way. He's okay, but not any good in not something you want in your team. But he's a support, and he's the only free-to-play support that you can get from just regular, for example, banners. I know that you can get Hinami from limited banners, from selectors, yes, but he's the only character for free-to-play that you can actually easily get from exchange, from the standard banner. That's why I'll put him in B. Next one, who's also... Jason could be here as well. A decent solo target character, but really nothing very cool there. He can be interesting in some ways, but let me open him up to just see. He increases the pen rate by 15% when deals damage. He applies lethal effects on enemies, and he buffs the team so they can apply more damage for the enemies, and that's good, but is that really that important? He also applies weak for the enemies, but for example, we have someone like Kaneki and he applies weak as well, So then why do we need to use Jason in that sense, for example? Next one, we didn't get Halter yet, so I'll put it in the end here. Akira, we just get it, so I haven't gotten her. She's not a free-to-play character, she's pay-to-win, but I wish we could get more of her. I would definitely like to see Akira. So Shinohara, again, kind of B. He's got some stuff on stars that are not bad. For example, his shields. At the start of the game, he gives shields. Something like Arima, for example, the yellow one. Not bad. But for example, yellow Arima does much more shields than he does. But he also reduces the damage taken when after he attacks. It's like his passive and stuff. Also, I think he reduces pen rate, if I'm not wrong. Let me check it out for a second here in the game. He also increases damage. When causing a weak, he shields your whole team for 10% of HP, but it's only for 1 round. So not as well, very niche character that you really only use in a specific type situations. For example, like RTA, he could be a good character there, but only if you didn't level him up before. So he's okay, but after, if you level him up to like 200 levels, then he's basically no use for you. Next one, Take, again, same character. AoE damage, also has a passive when he, like, if the character is very close to dying, he can kill him. But that's like a very shitty version of Juzo's and kind of Toka's passives. Every time the character dies, they use their passive, and he just uses it whenever they're very close to dying. And sometimes he even uses it and doesn't kill the enemies, and that's very sad. Let's see what else has he got, because I actually don't have that much idea of what he does. He applies weak. When he applies weak, he grants there's like a blood rage. It's his skill, I guess. And that one increases his damage about like 1% of. He gets 0.5% damage for every 1% of his remaining HP. So on the paper, he doesn't seem so bad, but when you actually use him, he doesn't do that much money, or that much damage. Sorry, money. So I don't think he's that good, but he could be of use, for example, in some modes or in the chain campaign. If you just need, like, for example, your 5th or 4th team, it's okay to be there. For example, like Shinohara, the same. They both can be pretty good. Okay, you get me. Next one, Kuroiwa, kind of here as well, but he's like a top of B, for example, in this sense. Oh, wait, can I change it? But yeah. Okay, we'll do like this. He's a top of B because he's a tank. He's like a shittier version of Shu. Because he's very selfish, he only does taunt for himself. Only does shields for himself and taunts as well. But for example, in that sense, Shu is much better. He shields every character in your team, and he only shields himself. That's a bad one because of that. But generally, he's not a bad tank. He's a very excellent character, and maybe not, if you don't compare them with Shu, he's okay. if you know that Shu exists in this game and you have him, then this character becomes like no use for you. Or if you have like someone like Arima, the yellow one, obviously it's much better in that sense. He reduces every time he uses skill, he reduces crit rate by 4% for all enemies and their crit damage as well. When he applies weak, he gets 10% more shields for one turn, based on his max HP. Also not very crazy there, unfortunately. So he's pretty basic, but he's not bad. He's definitely one of the best, like, the characters of this state, I guess. He's definitely one of the best ones there. Then we have Kurona. I think she's somewhere here. For example, Nashiro would be an A, because she's got stun. Yeah, what's up, Victor? Kurona, on the other hand, they probably pretty much the same character, but one of them buffs and one of them debuffs, basically. One of the buffer and the other one is debuffer. So when you try to put them on tier list, they're pretty much always gonna be on the same stuff. Because if we take Nashiro here, she is she's a buffer, right? She increases the deal damage, and she works pretty good with Kurona, because when Kurona debuffs, she actually enhances her buffs. So if Kurona puts a debuff or any other character puts debuff, she will boost. She can give a 16% buff for the whole team, like on damage buff. Then also she reduces defense of all the enemies for like 5%, I think. Applies weak, obviously. She gets increase of crit rate. Not crit rate, crit damage by 40% when she deals damage. Or maybe when it's dealt for her, I don't know. But Kurona here as well, she's a debuffer on the other hand. So they're twins, that's why they have like this similarities in the gameplay. She also gets increase in damage, the same passive, they have the same passive. She gets 16% buff when dealing damage. She also buffs characters in your team for their basic stats. For example, if she buffs the damage, she buffs all of the team's like the basic stats of them. She also has the same third star passive as her sister here. She gets, but she gets some difference. For example, she's crit damage increase, and she gets a pen rate damage increase. So they're not bad. They're very good. In some instances, for example, Nashiro is used more. I have not seen Kurona being used so much, because Nashiro has a stun, that's why everyone is using her, but Kurona in that sense, not very useful character, maybe compared to her stun. This is only why Nashiro is being used. But still, I wouldn't say that they're like useless. They're okay characters as a solo target. So I'll leave them here. Okay, we'll leave them at... No, I don't think A is good there. We'll put them on B, like top B. They're better probably from Kuryua. So they're two gonna be here. Next, we're gonna talk about Noro. And let's talk about Naki as well, because they're basically characters that you get from Arena Exchange. And probably one of the best solo free-to-play characters you can get. Naro, insane AoE, can heal himself, very good in that sense. Also, because of free-to-play, you can get a lot of star-ups on this guy. That's why he becomes so insanely strong. Because of how many star-ups you can get. It's kind of the same as you go with Rize, in some sense, that she was so OP in the beginning, because you were getting so many of her star-ups, but after a while she kinda lacked off. So Noro gets increase in attack related stats for a few percentages and debuffs enemies as well when he attacks. Then he applies weak, obviously. When taking single time damage, he can like heal himself for 30%, as well as, and also does basically just a ton of damage. For a free-to-play character, he does too much damage, maybe even, I would say. Noro best A? We'll see. We'll think about who's the best A, because there is some characters as well that I think there are maybe some differences on who is the best one. Naki as well, probably the best supportive DPS, if you could call him like that, because he is only used for his backup passive skills. So while he's in backup, he can heal for 8% the characters that took damage, and if you're, for example, fighting in PvE, let's say you're fighting someone who has, let's say, Juzo or any other AoE character, he comes here in clutch. 8% every round is very good. Also, he's got like a pen rate upgrade while he's in a backup state as well. It's not that huge, but at least it's okay. Also, I think he's got some like specific for PvP. He increases damage by 15% as well on PvP. But it's really specific. I think it's only based on HP of the enemies, so that's kinda shit. But I like that some of them have like interesting mechanics like this for PvP. Sorry, so that's cool. Next one, Shu. Best tank in the game. Best tank. He gives shields everyone. He can do decent damage. Maybe not too big, but it's a very niche damage. I think it's okay for a free-to-play character. It's very good. He gives 100% shields, I think, for after he attacks, but it's only for one turn. Obviously, it will. For example, if they didn't even do damage, those shields will fall off. Basically, you will have no shields anymore. When he's provoking, he's taunting. He will also do a passive damage. For example, if one of the enemy characters attacked him, he will do a few hits on him as an exchange of damage, for example. Let's call it like that. Also, when he applies weak, I think he gains like 10% of shields to the shields he gets. He as well gets like a little bit more, 10% there, I think, at least. As well as if you have him on 3-star, he gets when he gets the shields, he actually heals himself. So he becomes better with more stars you have on this character. That's why he's so good. So now let's talk about Toka. This is the old Toka we had, but let's pretend this is the new Toka, the red one that we have in the game right now. The Toka has AoE. She's got great damage. She's got great passive. When someone successfully kills an enemy with a skill, she deals 180 attacks. So she's basically like a worse version of Juzo. Like, they're pretty much the same characters, but she's just buffed version of her. And he needs to actually apply mark, and she doesn't. She just uses when someone gets killed, she does it. Also, she gets a boost. Which copy are you talking about? She also gets a boost if the enemy character has less HP. She gets a boost in damage. That's good as well. Applies weak. That will increase her damage for 1 turn, 10%. Not too shabby. Also, if someone in your team dies and she's still alive, she also gains attack bonus, and that will stack up to whatever many times all your other teammates will gonna die. You can't get this Toka. This is an old version of Toka that was before the game relaunched. So she's not in this game, but we're pretending this is the normal Toka that we have in the standard banner. Oh, you're asking just how to get Toka. Yes, you can get her in the regular summons. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as well. Which Toka do you mean? But okay, I'm gonna go next one. Let's talk about Rize. Rize is decent, solo target character, can do a lot of damage. She's very good because everyone is getting a lot of her copies. It's very easy to even get to like S star. Our rabbit one is not available, yeah. So when she's buffed, she's got a lifesteal up to 15% and deals more damage by 10%. Also, at the end of every turn, she increases the attack stats and also debuffs enemies for their defense stats as well, but only for a few rounds, so it's not long. Also does more crits. For example, if she's doing a crit damage, she just does more crit damage. Basically, as stupid as that sounds, that's basically how it do. If she's doing a crit damage, she increases that crit damage. You know what I mean? Also, if she applies weak, her crit damage enhances. So very good solo target character, especially for a red or for a green team. Very good there. So I think most of free-to-play characters we talked about, right? Is there someone left who is not in this tier list? Oh, we don't have Amon here. We don't have Amon, Ape, Kaya, I think, right? Amon, Ape, Kaya. Who else? Bin Brothers. They're not here. But let me do this. Okay. There's Amon. Can you see it? Oh fuck. There's Amon. And let me... This one. You see it, right? This Amon sucks. Let's be honest. This Amon sucks. And I hate this character so much. But in terms of stats on paper, he's not that bad. He's solo target red character. After landing a crit, he gives all allies increased pen rate by 6% for a few turns. When the allied characters kill, he also gives he just increases basically damage by 10% as well. So that's not really good, but not really bad either. Also, when he applies weak, his crit damage increases by 10% for 2 turns. So he's not that bad, but he's not good either. So if I had Amon here, I would put him somewhere maybe on B. He's not good, but not bad. He's kind of mid. So B would be a great spot for Amon. Next one, we'll talk about, I guess, two Bin brothers. Let me find Bin brothers here. Bin brothers. Okay, those two. Those guys, again, same stuff. I think they're kind of shit. To be honest, I think they're kind of shit. When the game starts, the Elder Bin enchants like basic stats of his brother, basically. He's very, I guess, selfish. He doesn't want to, for some reason, it's not buffing the team, but it's only buffing his like brother. And then it's kind of shit if you don't have his brother in your team. He increases damage of your Augiri 3 characters by 5%. If he applies weak, he increases basic stats by 7% for a few turns. Also, then he can increase if he did damage. If he attacked, he increases the attack stats for 1 turn, I think, but it's not too big, so pretty shit. So that was elder brother. Let's talk about the younger brother now. Same stuff on the passive. He buffs his brother. If he's not in your team, then that's basically you're doing nothing with his passive. So if you're playing them, then you definitely need to play both of them on the same team. If that's the case, then otherwise you're just basically not using them. Yep, they died to Amon. That's definitely it. Increase basic stats also of Augiri tree. When he applies weak, he increases his basic stats by 7%. When he casts basically all the same stuff that his brother have, but on 3rd star he also got when he casts a skill or he goes to attack, he gets def rate increase for all enemies. Sorry, not increased, but reduced. So they're pretty much here. C tier for them, maybe even nothing. I would put them in nothing for sure. They are not useful at all. Even like in our gear team, do you actually want to waste your 2 slots of characters for them? I don't think so. Next one also, okay, other characters are like not really interesting, so do I actually need to talk about them? Like who cares, for example, about Gori? Do we even know who Gori is? Oh no, not Gori, I guess, but Hoji, for example. Kyoji, Hoji, no one fucking cares about them, okay? So I'm not gonna talk about them. Other characters like Ayumu couldn't be in B. She's a solid target character. Let's talk about Ayumu. I think at least I can't even find her fucking photo. That's crazy. No one uses Ayumu and I can't find her photo. Obviously Amon would win. He's a fucking machine, but he's the most annoying character. Let me Ayumu Hoji. Okay. Because there is no photos of her. Or maybe let's go into the game. I'll show you it into the game. In the game. Okay. So Ayumu here. Let's talk about Ayumu. No one even cares about her, but still. Increases the basic stats of allied CCG lower rank investigators and CCG higher rank investigators by 5%. So she only useful in CCG team. Each time an allied CCG lower rank investigator or higher rank investigator is killed, all allied characters gain a shield for 10% of max HP. Kind of like Arima shield, but only if someone is killed. Applies weak, increases the basic stats. Increases shielded allied characters' basic stats by 4% and reduces their damage taken by 5%. Nothing interesting again. Maybe B, because she works with CCG. Maybe she can work with Arima a little bit, but mostly she works just with like low rank CCG characters, and then what's the point of that? Okay? Nothing interesting there. Okay, let's get back to the tier list again. Next one, I guess let's talk about... Oh, we have Kaya and Ape, right? I like Ayumu, but as maybe a character, I think her design is cool. She's got like this nail, sorry, not nail, but her sword, I guess. It's probably is a sword, right? So her sword is very cool. She actually is very cute under that hair, but other than that, nothing interesting. Kaya is actually interesting. I would definitely put her in A tier. In terms of characters, I think her passive is interesting. Also, she works good with Anteiku characters. Deals damage equal to 100% of attack or to an enemy target immediately after an allied Anteiku character applies weak effect to it. So if you're using Anteiku character team, and you can use, for example, someone like Kaneki, per se, and he easily weakens characters. He's very good with this passive, for sure. She does every time they're like weakened. She does this amount of damage, and that's very sick. There could be a meta there, like if you have there's gonna be a meta, I think, when the Anteiku characters gonna take over, and Kaya will be useful there, I think. Or at least if not, that's not gonna be the case. Still, she's a decent character for sure. Applies weak, increases basic stats. All enemy crit resistance is reduced by 1% for every 4% of your crit rate. So basically, she's only used for her passive. There is nothing interesting here either, but her passive is okay. That's why I would put her in A tier. Next one, Ape. He was okay in the beginning of the game, but now he kind of falling off. I think he is on the B tier somewhere. Yeah, I know about Kakuja Kaneki, but I'm not gonna talk about him for now because I have not checked him out yet. I didn't get him, so I'm not gonna talk about him yet. But when I get him, I'm gonna do a review video if I'm gonna get him. Obviously, if I'm not very lucky, then maybe that's not the fate that I'm gonna see him. When an allied a character causes weak, increases the damage dealt by all our enemies allies by 4%, limit to 4 times. When your R2 skill causes damage, it will randomly apply one of your following effects to the target for 1 turn, reducing the damage dealt by 8%, increasing the damage taken by 8%, or reducing the skill level stack up to 2%. So this is like buff, debuff stuff here going on him always. Increases damage dealt by all allies by 4%, also not bad. Efficient also in a backup state. Each time an allied character deals damage to an enemy restriction by self with an active skill, basic stat of self increased by 3% for 2 turns, stacking up to 5 times. So this is not bad. He's like buffs and debuffs are not bad, but sometimes it's compared to other characters he kinda lacks, because those debuffs and buffs are sometimes too small. For example, like 3%, and you don't really get to like them stacked up for 5 there, for example, and increasing damage for 4%, not that big for the whole team. You could definitely use other characters who increase stats and just generally damage. There's more characters who are better in increasing stats, for example, then he kind of feels mid, to be honest, as well. I think we've talked about all of the SSR characters that are at least important, others probably not so much. We can get back to the tier list. Next one, we'll talk about another character who is not really a free-to-play character, but Hinami, definitely an A tier. Maybe an S tier, just because she's the only support who does heals for now. Helter is not here yet, so she's the only support, at least right now in the game, that does heal, and she heals fucking a lot, and she also does decent damage, and that's why Hinami is a top tier character for sure. But maybe she's not very used in different types of metas and PvP, for example. She's not that used, but in PvE she's insane. Strong, one of the strong. There's like she and Uta are the strongest supports, but they have different types of jobs that they do. But Hinami also, when the HP is above 80%, your healing will increase by 30%, so she will increase more if your allied characters have more HP, and also will increase her deal damage by 20%. That's insane passive. At 1 star, that's what you get for 1 star. Applying weak heals, when applying weak, she will heal your team for 5% of your lost HP. When your turn starts, restore 40% of your lost HP of your characters with the highest weak value. Clear all weak values and grant the target an effect of increasing its basic stats by 15% for 1 turn. If he's got a maxed out Amon and he's that far, I respect him. This is the only thing I can do for him. But I would say he maybe have a little bit of problems with head if he actually using Amon. I don't know. I would never even want to use that character. But it's not. It's because I have a personal agenda versus that character. He's not that bad, so. But I have an agenda, and so I will despise everyone who uses Amon, and I will despise Amon as well. Delete him from the game, please. Next one, next support, Uta. Again, they're two best healers, but they kinda do like different jobs because he's a buffer and she's healer. Yeah, they're in the same like support category, but they do different stuff. He increases the skill of your characters, does some damage, not the damage, nothing, basically no damage compared to what Hinami does in the damage category, but his skill increasing is too strong for sure. That's why he's here. I don't think we need to really talk about Uta so much because probably by now everyone already knows why Uta is so good, why Hinami is so good, why those characters are like on top. Next one, Kaneki. Again, solar target, blue character, can apply weak, does tons of damage. Probably one of the strongest, at least for now, still one of the strongest solo target characters. He's got Blood Rage again, that will increase his damage for each of his remaining HP, the same as someone like Take. And Take is shit in that sense. Also, when he's healing, he gets a frenzy. That frenzy will increase his attack by 3%, and that will stack up because when he applies weak as well, he gets frenzy, and when he gains a power burst, he gets frenzy. So they stack up, and it's like a very big amount of damage. So also, if he didn't get damage, a lot of people don't know this actually, that if he didn't get damage, his skill will increase automatically. So you don't even need Uta in that sense, he will increase automatically, but for that to happen, no one needs to target this character, and he not be getting any damage there. Next one, I don't know about her because she's pretty much available for pay to win players, I guess. Again, I think Ol is A, to be honest. He's okay with the team based of, I think, Anteiku, right? He's an Anteiku character team player, basically. I already did a review on him if you really want to like go and see all of that stuff, but I talked about them. It's everything basically of increasing Anteiku characters stats. They're like debuffing enemies, getting like he can get HP for himself as well. All of that basically about him or the Anteiku characters. That's why I think he's a little bit worse, because he only I don't like characters that only work in one team. That's a bad sign. For example, Hinami works in every team. Uta works in every team. Kaneki can work in every team as well. Shu can work in every team. Noro is okay pretty much in every team for an AoE character. Naki can be in every team. He doesn't care. He's in a backup state, so he doesn't fucking care there. Kuroiwa can even be in every team. Shinohara can be in every team. Nico can be in every team. But he's only used in that teams, and then I don't really like it how it works. When a character is only for one team, he lacks diversity, and then he is more rare. He's not used so often, because if that team is not meta, he's not used. That's why I don't I don't think he's good because it's only one team, and then it's not. There's nothing interesting about him there. Ayato, probably the best character in the game right now. For now, this is the best character in the game. In terms of free to play, obviously. If not free to play, someone like Kimishiro, the Riza's dad, is gonna be stronger. Let's put Riza here, I think. He's gonna definitely be stronger than Ayato, but for now, Ayato's strongest character for free to play players, and for almost everyone. He's so good. He's passive, insane. He does insane damage, insane AoE. We already talked so much in like every video we talk about how good Ayato is. Then you probably know by now that he's so sick. Also, he's probably got the best animations in the game for now. No one else has as good animations of attack as he does, to be honest. Next one, Juzo. Again, they're like brothers of AoE damage. They work so good together, for example, that it's insane. He applies his mark. If he kills them, he will again do the damage. Like, he will start the attack, his passive will proc, and they work so good together. Juzo, again, insanely strong AoE character, maybe a little bit less stronger than Ayato because of Ayato's passive does too much damage compared to, for example, Juzo. But Juzo is not bad either. He's got himself like a very good stuff on him. For example, marks. When the enemies have the death mark and they die, he adds a boost mark. Those boost mark increases his damage, his basically stats, all of his stats by a few percents. That's very good. He also, when they die, he deals damage to all enemies because he's AoE. Also, if he applies weak, he will reduce the skill level of other characters. So, for example, if you're using Juzo versus Kaneki and Uta, and if he gonna weaken them, and for example, someone like Ayato had a 2-star attack coming up on the next turn, he will now have again a 1-star only. So that's good as well. So again, if the enemy characters, when you apply the death mark on them, their defensive stats are going to be reduced by 20%. But after you do damage to them, that effect is gone again. Juzo 1-star is definitely important, so you should get him. 1-star is very important on Juzo. Again, when he gains a power burst, he also gets a boost mark that will increase his stats as well. So he's very strong, very, very strong. Ayato is a little bit stronger, but he's very strong as well. Pretty much second best AoE character for now in the game, because Ayato is first and he's second. Next one, Arima. We'll pretend that this is not a red Arima, this is a yellow Arima, okay? So, yellow Arima, again, insanely strong character. But I think he's a little bit worse than Juzo and Ayato because of their passives are so crazy that it's insane. But his passive is very strong as well. He becomes immortal for 1 round if he's about to die, and then he actually receives a shield for himself 100%, and as well as does 260 fucking % damage after that. That's insane as well. Also, when we do, like, your team does damage, he gives a shield to the whole team, 20% for 20% of the damage that was done there. Okay. He also, when he applies weak, his penetration rate will increase. When the new turn starts, he will increase all shielded characters' basic stats by 4, and also if he gains power burst, he will increase his life steal by 8% for 1 turn. So very strong character there as well. Again, this is not a red Arima I'm talking about, but a yellow Arima there. Next one, who do we have next? We have Yomo, but he's a pay-to-win character. I can't really talk about him because I can't really get him. That's why I have nothing to say about that guy, unfortunately. But still, he seems like okay character as well. I don't know where I put him because I have not tried him, and that's why I don't know where we really put him in the tier list, but not a bad character either. Red Arima, I'm not gonna talk about Red Arima as well because he is a pay-to-win character again. Can't really get him. If I get him, I would talk about him. But if I haven't tried the character, I haven't seen the setups for him, I can't really talk about. But Arima would definitely be in S tier, like, because he's too overpowered. All of the Arima versions are overpowered, so if you really want to, like, know if he's worth it, yeah, he's so strong so that he's worth it. But maybe not worth it of your, like, thousands of your dollars. That's not worth it. It's just an animation again, don't spend that much on him. Also, there is no we can get here into the game again to see Sachi. Reader's dad. Again, I can't really talk about him, but he seems like probably the strongest characters in the game. You can get him by only donating a tons of fucking damage into this money into this game. This is the only way to get him, but he's very strong. Like, strongest character in the game for sure. Hopefully we'll get him in the banners. I know that we'll get Red Arima in the banners, in the limited ones. After some time, I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. So even if you don't get him right now, you will get him in future. But maybe in future you will not really need him that much anymore, because there are gonna be another characters that are also very strong. But we'll see what's gonna happen in the future. I definitely want Akira. I want Akira so much. She feels like an okay AoE character as well. So I would love to get her and try her, but as you can see, I am not very lucky on getting her.